Hi there, Michelle Marsden and Marsden Accountants. Well, last week I did a couple of videos about paying your tax on time and got to do your tax return on time. And then HMRC decided yesterday, that's the 25th of January, so less than a week to go to the deadline, that they're going to extend it. Now, be a buyer beware. They have extended the deadline to the 28th of February. But there are a few things you need to know about that to make sure that if you're taking advantage of that, you don't make a mistake that could cost you instead. So yes, the tax return normally is due in by the 31st of January 2021. So our accountants and tax advisors have been lobbying for the last 3 or 4 months. Can we have a bit more time, please? Because it's been a bit of a difficult year for accountants, to say the least. And HMRC definitely said, no, you can't. And then on Monday, they changed their mind. So what you have to watch out for is the tax is still due this Sunday on the 31st of January 2021. Now, if you haven't done your tax return, how do you know how much tax is due? Okay. So yes, you could take advantage of the extra month, yeah, if that's going to help you. But paying the wrong amount of tax means, especially if you pay too little, that you'll end up paying interest. That will be the same whether you submit this weekend or whether you wait till later in February. The interest will accrue on any tax that you haven't paid by 31st of January. Okay, interest rates aren't huge with HMRC, but you will have to pay it. All right, so just understand interest is due from the 1st of February. Now, one of the things I've been asked on LinkedIn today actually was, how do I get this extension? The extension is automatic. All right, that was one of the problems that we had as accountants, is we thought if clients put in late because they've got COVID or they've had COVID problems with their business or whatever, then we all have to start appealing in February, March against penalties. So that's why HMRC have done it, is that basically we don't have to spend the next 2 months appealing penalties. So yeah, it's an automatic extension to the end of February 2021. This will be a one-off thing. I doubt we'll ever get this again, all right, because the fact they've taken so long to give it to us. So don't assume this will happen again in future. They haven't mentioned anything on partnership tax returns being submitted late, but I would assume that they're the same, but we've had no real confirmation on that. So just be careful if you have got a partnership tax return, all right? So, but yeah, if they're cancelling penalties, it should be all right. But I just want to be, just want you to be aware. So yeah, pay the tax by and Sunday if you can, or pay an estimate if it's a large tax bill, if you think the interest is going to be quite big. You can pay that tax online using your hmrcs.gov.uk. Always go to .gov.uk. Try not to follow any links on any emails, please. Honestly, there are so many scams involved with HMRC. They don't send text. They don't really send emails because there's so many scams. All right, so go to the gov.uk website, click on pay my self-assessment tax, and it'll send you to the link and it'll tell you how to do it. You'll have your own UTR, which is unique tax reference, and you'll need to put that in as a reference, because if you don't, what happens is HMRC have got this huge suspense account where all the money goes that they can't allocate, and you definitely don't want to be in that. All right. If you can't pay your tax by this Sunday, then what you can do is you can use the COVID rules this year, where they're allowing you to pay by instalments. Just be careful if you've got any old arrears and that, you might not be able to do this. But the way to claim instalment payments up to 12 months is to go online to your personal tax account. If you haven't got a personal tax account, set one up straight away, and you should be able to get that done pretty much soon. If not straight away, within a week, for sure. So you can go in there and you've got 2 months, so that's 60 days. So it's the end of March in which to make that claim. All right. Interest will run on that anyway, but please do it online. HMRC don't want you calling. They've already had 130 million deferred already by taxpayers, so I'm sure that's going to be a lot higher by the time they're finished. All right. If you think that your tax is not, because sometimes we have tax payments on account, and if you think the payment on account is too high because you haven't earned so much in the COVID year, so 2020, 21, and then you can ask to reduce your payments account. But beware, if you reduce your payments on account too much, then interest can accrue on it again, you see. So, and what you have to remember is all of the grants you've had, the self-employment income support grant you've had as well, the grants from the councils, the furlough money, all of that money needs to go in your accounts. So some people actually are doing quite well out of it. So because they're just claiming grants, so they're making, actually some people are making a decent profit this year. So just watch out for that. All right. So don't reduce them and forget about all that income, all right, that you've had this year. And the other thing to be aware of, actually, and this is a really good point, is if you pay Class 2 national insurance in your tax bill and you think you might want to be claiming in the future, either now or not too distant future, on universal credits or any other job seekers or anything like that, please make sure you pay the Class 2 national insurance now. Don't delay that. It's only £159 for most people if they have to pay it, but it's money well spent if you can draw down at 80 quid a week. Yeah, so it doesn't take long to get your money back. But if you don't pay that and you haven't got enough contributions in, you may not get your benefits, you see. So not that we're expecting to do benefits, but it's just one of those little things you have to watch out for. And the other thing is, if you've got tax credits, obviously get your tax credits final figures in as soon as possible if you're self-employed. But if they have said that just as soon as you can. If it is a bit late, normally their deadline is 1st of January. There's no movement on it. But this year they said, yeah, because the tax deadline has been extended to the end of February, just try and get it to us as soon as you can, the final figures for 1920, so we can give you your estimate for 2021 as well. All right. So yeah, sorry it's a bit of a long one, that one, but yeah, HMRC changed the rules. I still suspect, and I could be wrong, I still suspect that maybe they wanted it all in quickly, is so they could do the next self-employment scheme and actually take 1920 into account. So if you're one of the people that's missed out and you think if you get your tax return on time, you may end up getting some money under the next self-employment income support scheme, I'd get it in on time. All right, so we're still aiming to get them all in on time because that's what we want to do. We want a bit of time out. Actually, as accountants, we've had a very busy 12-month period, so normally we get to have a bit of a quieter few months, but not last year. So yeah, anyway, enjoy getting your tax return in on time and time to shine.